Hi everyone, and thank you for being with me on the Tony Tonkin Show. Now, lots to talk about, but I guess I don't want to focus too much on Trump because everybody else seems to be doing that, and I find him pretty irrelevant, redundant, and really, you know, at the end of the day, what people are going to support a misogynistic, psychopathic, narcissistic, hypocritical liar who abuses people left, right and centre, particularly abuses women, particularly abuses black people, so he's a racist, no disputing any of that. And why is it that we tend to want to give him so much time, which makes me seem rather hypocritical because I'm talking about him right now. The reality is, for me, he has an exorbitant amount of power, which I don't understand why we would give such a jerk so much authority, so much airspace, why we want to occupy this space where we could be talking about really important things like, I don't know, gender equality. We could be talking about important issues such as let me think about the voice here in Australia and what that means for Indigenous people. The whole news cycle seems to be, my Twitter feed is full of crap in relation to Donald Trump. And, you know, I'm always bemused or amused, I guess, by the things that people say about Trump, the adulation that he gets from a group of people who seem to want to admire somebody that has all these terrible, terrible qualities about him. I'm confused, I guess, as to why that should be the case, given that he's the most revolting person on this planet. You know why it is that he loves these strong men like Erdogan and Putin and others around the world, why he tends to believe that he is the one that can solve all of these problems. And I guess the most confusing aspect of all of this for me is that this man believes that he has the innate ability to be able to resolve the most involved and complex problems on this planet. That if he was in power, that the Russians would never have invaded Ukraine, that the Iranians would never have reignited their nuclear program, that North Korea would be humbled by him and not be firing weapons off over Japan, and that China would fall in line and become a puppet to the United States. All of these accusations or thoughts or processes that he goes through are just ludicrous. But there are some people out there, for whatever reasons which I do not understand, believe him, and yet they encourage him to be able to do and say the things that he does. Now, my prediction around Trump is that eventually he's going to say or do something that the court will not find very helpful, and they will drag him back into court and tell him that it's really more appropriate for him just to shut up, and if he fails to do that, they will lock him up. Now, I've got to be honest, that is something I am looking forward to. That moment where a judge says you've crossed the line, that whatever conditions you're on, I'm now revoking, and I'm going to set you inside jail for a day or so. I think that the whole Republican Party would start to collapse around his ears, that there will come a time when the Republicans will say enough is enough. We don't have someone that can take his place in their view. DeSantis seems to be sitting in the back stalls waiting for something to happen so that he can step in, and you know, from all accounts he's a pretty shitty candidate anyway. In the meantime, the Democrats are just quiet around all of this. They're just waiting to see what happens. And I think that basically that's not a bad strategy. Just to sit and wait and see whether Trump eventually simply just hangs himself. because I think at the end of the day, that's pretty much what he'll do. Here's a man who's not been told that he should stick by some rules. The fact is that he believes that he's entitled to say and do whatever he likes. He can encourage his sons to say terrible things about Bragg, about the judge's daughter, and I believe photographs of her have been placed by Don Trump Jr., and that eventually the judge will say enough is enough. I'm not going to have my family attacked by you guys, and that these are the rules I'm putting in place to put this stuff to an end. Let's wait and see. I'm excited. I think it'd be great to see him in jail. I want to see him in one of those orange suits. I think it would suit his colour scheme. I want to see how prisoners would treat him if they ever allowed to get close enough, which I doubt whether they would. And one of the things that interests me most is I wonder whether the security guards for Trump would also have to be in jail with him if ever that did occur. So would they have a jail next to him? Would they have to be inside that cell with him? Like, what would be the procedure if he actually had to go to jail because he transgressed around some of these restrictions that should be placed on him if he is finally gagged from saying some of the things that he does? It was interesting to hear how compliant he was in court, how he simply answered the questions of the judge by yes, sir, or no, that he didn't have any other comments to make. He was silenced for once. He should spend most of his time in court if it means he could shut up, and that his lawyers did most of the talking. And the issue around him being the character and the personality that he is didn't seem to impact on the judge at all. That the rules applied to Trump as they apply to everybody else, except there was no perp walk. That it was probably embarrassing enough for him just to walk through that door, and the sheriff didn't open the door for him. In fact, let it close. He had to push it open himself. Poor bastard. I did feel sorry for him, having to open up the door on his own and not having someone open it for him. That must have been embarrassing, to say the least. So enough of Trump. Let's see what happens. I'll let my thoughts be known to you as they occur, and hopefully we will see this terrible human being dealt with in the way that he should be, and hopefully not just this case but in other cases he'll find himself behind bars. Be a great outcome. So, and you know, I kind of wonder what would happen. What would happen to the Republican Party if Trump wasn't there? What would they replace him with? Who would they choose? Would they try and choose another person like Trump, or would they try and choose somebody a bit more like Reagan? I wonder. Let's wait and see what transpires. I don't think there's a kind of Reagan there. Maybe, just maybe, they might choose a Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe. Maybe they'll go even further bizarre, further crazy than where they've already been. Let's wait and see. Thanks everybody for being with me. Take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe. And also, remember to subscribe to my channel. That's important too. See you.